How many people have heard me speak before in Thailand? Raise your hands. Good, fantastic. And how many people have read my book, The Meta Secret? Raise your hands. Good, good. And for the rest of you, it's still a secret. Good, go pick up the book. It's going to be very interesting because I do touch on a very interesting topic in there, thanatology, which is the study, if you want, of people who are in the process of coming to the end of their life or existence on this planet. And it's easier to deal with people who are adults and who are in palliative care than it is with children, because what can you say to a child who only wants to go up and play, you know, and it's a very, very difficult thing altogether. I was going to teach you something I could possibly give you knowledge about, but I don't think I could probably add to your body of knowledge as you already have, because the things I learned are from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross and a few other people in the field, including the woman who set up the Hospice Care Association in Singapore many, many years ago. And Rose and I were very good friends, Rosalie. I don't know if she's ever come here, but she's given her whole life to this vocation. Now, all of you are volunteers?
Yes.
All of you volunteers. You are amazing. You are amazing. I salute you from my heart. I salute you. I clap for you because there's in this field a lot of people do not like to come into this field for counseling of any kind or to help people of any kind because it's very difficult and it's very, very hard. Years ago, I began a diploma in psychotherapy program about 12 years ago in Singapore before it became popular. And the first place I sent my graduates were to the hospices and to the cancer wards. And the doctors all knew me very well, and they knew that I had trained my people very well. But most of them, more than half of them, dropped out of counseling after that because they couldn't take it. You see, the difficulty comes when you, and you guys know this better than anybody else in the world, when you start to form a relationship, a deep relationship with the child or the adult or the person in question, knowing that they're not going to be there, you know, in the space of 2 months or 3 months or even less. And then what do you do at that point? You develop a certain edge, a certain thickness about you, sort of like an onion. You know, if you take a look at an onion, when you cut it in half, have you noticed that their layers are getting softer and softer as you go to the center, but on the outside they're thicker and harder? And that's kind of what we become, because we got to keep ourselves emotionally distanced from the work that we do. And that's the hard part. And how do you then switch and come home and be soft again? It's very difficult. But you know, the funny thing about an onion, if you go deeper and deeper into the center of an onion, you're going to find that there's nothing but a bubble of air. You would expect something solid in the middle of an onion, but it isn't. It's just air. Now, if we use that metaphor of the onion, and that we are layers, all of us different onions with different layers, let's come back to the center of why it is that we chose to be who we are. Because the person that you are is this volunteer work that you're doing, if you can believe it. This is who you are. The hearts that you have, you come from the heart center, like most people come from the head center. They think through jobs, they think through careers, they think through amassing wealth and property and cars, which I cannot understand, which even some of my friends who run organizations, big organizations like Bob Proctor, Joe Vitale, and all of these people, they just want more and more and more. I mean, I spent time with Joe Vitale, who is from The Secret as well as the Meta Secret. And Joe is an interesting fellow. He started from the street, literally homeless, had no place to stay. And he started to build himself up. But you know what? I asked Joe what he's doing with all these millions that he's getting. He said, I don't know what to do with it. I'm just buying cars. I love classic cars. he has over 24 classic cars. You and I, we call these classic cars third-hand cars or second-hand cars. But this guy buys old cars, polishes them up and fixes them up, and then starts driving them around. And how many cars can you drive in a lifetime, let alone 1 year? He just collects it like you and I collect postage stamps. So what could I teach you who are in the field? And I'm out there, doing all this hoo-ha and celebrating life and telling people to celebrate life when it's so difficult to consider how precious it is. My friends over here, even my son, who's actually back there, that's Luke. Luke, say hello. He comes around the planet with me. My daughter has given up, so she's gone back to New York to live a normal life. And she decided that this is too hard for her, dealing with so many people. But Luke wants to learn more about this. And as we go around, we meet a lot of people who are in pain. One of my biggest jobs to do is to take people who have this pain and to remove it altogether. So maybe today, they told me I'm supposed to speak during lunch. So you guys are going to be eating, and I'll be the only one not eating. I said, that's really nice. Thank you so much. So I said, so what will I be doing? I could do a dance and song and entertain while you guys do something. So I will ask you questions. But let's do this instead. You can have lunch every day. True? You can eat anytime. True? But you don't have me for a long time. So let's spend all this time talking to me. Take your lunch and eat it a little bit later, if you're okay with that. And then this way you can have the most benefit from me. And then also at the same time, I can actually answer your personal questions. Would that be useful? Yes. Okay, good. Let's do that. So, organizer, where is she? Sorry. You can eat. We'll all watch you. So, what do I do? I'm a psychologist. I think most of you already know this. Psychotherapist for more than 25 years. Now, in the field of psychotherapy, I come across a lot of people with a lot of needs and a lot of wants. Most of these needs and wants are temporary. But you know where the real needs and wants are? When you talk to people who know they don't have much time left, they will tell you the truth. All I want to see is another sunrise. All I want to have is to taste all the foods that I've missed. Even an ice cream cone tastes so much better when you know you don't have much time to appreciate it. The problem with us, the rest of us, we think we have a lot of time. How many people are Buddhists here? Now, wow, overwhelming. Now, did you know, I study the Buddha's teachings and what he must have said, but I ignore Buddhism. Why do I do that? Because the Buddha was not Buddhist. Did you know this? Christ was not Christian either, just to let you know. But these were men who were searching for a way to come to an enlightened way of thinking and an enlightened view of the world. And what does it mean to be enlightened? It doesn't mean that you have superior knowledge of this, that, and the other thing. It just means that you handle everything that comes to you with a certain amount of calmness in your life. That you're not easily affected emotionally or in terms of rage, in terms of mental disorders, and so on and so forth. In fact, if you want to believe it, the Buddha might have been the first psychologist, the first effective psychologist that was really practicing on the planet without a license. And you don't need to be one. The funniest thing is this. He said something that I am telling you as well, that everything begins in the mind. Now, if you know that everything begins in the mind, what you think about your vocation, what you think about your relationships, what you think about the stuff you have or don't have, makes all the difference in how you feel about it. True or not true? If you read the Meta Secret, there are 7 laws, and the laws are universal laws. They're not my laws. They're laws that existed for thousands of years. I just made it simpler. I don't know why they cloak things in a lot of complexity. It's not necessary. You can make it simpler. And one of the laws is the law of correspondence. As within, so without. Your external environment is as a result of what's happening in your internal environment. If you experience conflict in life, it's because that's what you expect. That's how you respond to the world, by conflict. The world is a tough place. People are out to get me. People are out to hurt me. This is a dangerous place. So as a result, your conversations are conflicted because of that way of thinking. But if your way of thinking is the world is a beautiful place, it's a wonderful place, so much to explore, people are generally good, they just don't know what to do in some situations. Now, if you come across like that, then you'll be smiling more, and you'll be forgiving more, and you'll be letting go more. And Buddha said everything begins in the mind. The law of mentalism tells you every thought that you think is the beginning of everything that actualizes in your life. Not by magic, but because it started somewhere in a thought. This building was in the thought of an architect or a fellow who dreamed up, let's build a hospital. Then he gave it to an engineer who looked at it and said, yep, that's possible, let's make it happen. Then he gave it to a contractor, and the next thing you know, we have a structure that you and I are enjoying. But it began in somebody's mind. So what is everything else that we have in the world, and what's creating the problem? Buddha said the same thing that I am telling you. The problem with you is you think you have time. The problem with us is we think we have time. The people you are working with, the people you volunteer to work with, no, they don't have time. Every day they beg for another day. Every day that they wake up, they go, oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Oh my God. But you, when you wake up in the morning, how do you wake up? Like the rest of the world? Because they wake up like this, they go, oh my God, another day, God damn it, oh, gotta go to work. And they struggle because another day has happened. You know, for me, waking up every day is such a sheer joy. Because I don't know, I'm living on borrowed time. Many years ago, I died in 1976, that's a long, long time ago. I was 18 years old, and I was climbing a mountain in Malaysia. I made it more difficult. I fell very far down, and I landed, but not too well, kind of on the rest of my body. Most people land on their feet. But to drop down 150 feet is a great way to get down fast, but not recommended. Especially in the middle of nowhere. It took about 10 days to get me to a decent hospital before I finally found a person who looked at me and said to my parents, this boy is going to die. Because gas gangrene had already started getting into my body. Now gangrene, you don't hear about gangrene except in a war situation. You know, a person who's been shot and then left out in the dirt, well, that was me, shot and left out in the dirt. And so I was supposed to die. And then he said, I have to amputate his left arm. And so as a result, they did the operation and so there you go. But here's the thing, and I think you guys will understand it better than most people. And I'm a scientist and I'm coming from a science mind, so I have a lot of questions about this. Because the next thing that happened boggled my imagination. I was on the operating theater and the pain was suddenly gone. Next thing I knew, I was standing outside of myself, looking at that body on the operating theater and saying to myself, holy cow, who the hell is this? And then I recognized it was me. And I heard and saw the doctor cutting with this, I think the tools that they cut wood with, you know, those same kind of things, the electrical and round little saw. And he was using that to cut and but I had already died. And then the nurse had said, time of death, doctor, because they tried to revive me and they couldn't. With gas gangrene, your organs begin to shut down. Your heart stops first, then your liver, then your kidneys, then your brain, everything shuts down. So I was dead, effectively, but for probably about 19 minutes. Now, I was outside of my body, looking at everybody, and I could hear conversations happening outside in the hallway. My parents were crying because somebody had told them that I was dead. And I thought it was premature because I kept saying, I'm here, but nobody could hear me. Now, here's the funny thing. This is probably what happens to everybody when they die. There's a dissociation between the consciousness and what is the somo, the self, which is the body self. So, next thing that happened is I went through the ceiling, not of my own volition. It was like I was being sucked. And next thing I know, I went through a tunnel of light, typical near-death experience, and saw this man who was standing there who had long hair. At that time, my training and understanding was Christian in orientation, went to a Methodist school. And so as a result, I thought that was Jesus Christ. But now on hindsight, it might be the lead singer from Kiss, the band. I'm not sure. Gene Simmons, it could have been him. I'm just kidding. But here's the thing. The being was very loving and very kind, and yet telling me, son, it is not yet time. You have a lot of work to do. You have to go back. And I argued with the being, and I said, if I have to go back, do you mind if I stay for a little while? And he said, sure. No questions asked. He let me go in there, and I knew that maybe I should get into sales because I was quite persuasive. And regardless, he sent me around, and somebody was showing me all of this place called heaven. And it wasn't really heaven, it was just a place that and here's the good news, everybody, this is the place that everybody goes to, no matter what your religion is. It makes no difference. Religion is an invention of man, and really it divides men from each other, men and women. Religion, race, nationalism, I don't believe in any of these things. If you look at Earth from space, there are no borders. We are one planet, people, and we are one species. So whenever they have these forms at the immigration or anywhere that says, what is your race? I always write a new box and say human. I don't know if you guys do it, but start this practice today. And then when you think of us as a species, then you know we are all sharing the same ideologies, the same pain, the same philosophy. We all have the same fears, dreams, wants, needs, and desires. Agreed? So everybody is like this. And this is what I knew. When I was there, I was shown some things, and the reason I'm telling you this is because there's one experience I want you to know about that has shaped who I am today and shaped the career I chose today and why I chose to give my life to help as many people as possible before I die. I asked the being who was showing me around, I said, what is this structure that I see in front of me? It was a big dome-looking thing. It probably is stretched from where that wall is to where that wall is, and probably just as shallow as this ceiling. He said, that is the hall of memories. I said, what is that? He said, well, that is where you review your life from everybody's perspective. I didn't understand that. I said, may I? He said, sure. And I sat there, and mind you, I'm an 18-year-old, and who hasn't lived a full life yet. And so I came in to review my life. And straight away, I saw all my memories, but not just from my perspective, but from the perspective of the people I interacted with on a daily basis. It was quite livid. It was like better than 3D. It was 5D without the glasses. You know, I was there and reliving every experience. But here's the thing. I'll give you two experiences because it would be too long if I talk about all my experiences. There was one experience when I was in grade 1 or 2, primary 1 or 2, and there was a guy who was sitting behind me. His name was Malcolm. I hated him as a child because he used to steal my erasers and my pencils, and if it was nicer, and he would be the one stealing it, and he would take it and said, no, I didn't steal it, no, nothing, not me. And he would steal my stamps and collections and things like this. And he would always bully me, push me, because he was bigger than I am. One day at recess, I saw an opportunity to get revenge. He was standing on the edge of a long series of stairs going down. And I looked around, pushed him. And he fell. I was so happy. You know, as a child, you know how You know how we are. Children are not cruel by nature, but we don't know we're cruel, but we are. And and he started to fall, boom, 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 hit every stair along the way. But here is the deal. I felt every hit on my head, on my body, from his perspective. Then when he landed and the blood was coming down his head and people were panicking, I felt the gush of blood coming down, and I felt his embarrassment as all the other students started laughing at him. Now here's the part that hurt me the most, or emotionally hurt me the most. I saw a timeline where Malcolm was supposed to be a brilliant doctor. This was his timeline. Somehow it's been decided for you. I don't know by whom. Please don't ask me this because I don't know the philosophy behind this, or the karma, or whatever you want to call it. But there was a timeline, and I could see it clearly. But because of that fall and something I damaged in his head by pushing him down, it changed and he became a priest. A Christian Methodist priest. I don't know if that's a good thing. Considering some doctors that we have, that might be a good thing. But he became one, and became one of the best priests that I know. And till this day, he doesn't know that I'm the one that pushed him down. Before I die, I will admit that to him, but now this is being recorded, isn't it? Malcolm, I'm sorry. That was me. So anyway, and now he's saying, yes, you're going to go to hell. But trust me, there is no hell. The hell is actually here. Hell is here. This is the toughest place on earth. And you, as souls choosing to come to planet Earth, I tell you, you have chosen a difficult planet to work on. It is not easy. It is quite tough. But if you survive, well, you have a hero's welcome waiting for you on the other side. Now, the next thing that I saw in the Hall of Memories was this. I saw myself at age 12 coming home from school. I was in uniform, walking back with my school bag and everything, and I saw a beggar woman sitting down there asking for alms, for money or something. But she wasn't asking per se, she just had a hand up there and she was looking down. So I gathered all the little coins I had and gave it to her, put it in her hand, and walked away thinking, okay, I made a point, I'm going to go to heaven because I did something nice, That's what the Methodist school teaches you. Do good deeds, and then you go to heaven. And so I thought it was that simple. But as I turned to walk away, she threw the coins at me. Just threw them at me. And some not nice words came out of my mouth. Not in Thai, but you'll teach me that later. Has to do with females and dogs and things. Anyway, so I picked up the coins and I said, well, hell with you then. I walk away. I was very angry and upset. But then about 20 or 30 yards further up, I felt an urge. And I didn't know what that urge was. I just turned around, looked at her, and I walked past her to the chicken rice shop. And I decided to buy some chicken rice, complete with everything. It comes in those little packages. And I gave it to her, but reluctantly, because if she threw this at me, this is my only uniform, and I didn't want to wash it, and it was too tough. I left it there, and I just walked away, and she didn't do anything. She just opened the package, didn't even look at me, opened the package and started eating it, and there was nothing. So I did, okay, round 2, heaven. So I'm going to walk away. In the Hall of Memories, I heard every thought that she was thinking. The first thought was, when she threw the coins, boom, I am not a beggar. That was the thought. I am not a beggar. I don't need your money. She was very angry. But then at the same time, remember I'm a little boy, 12 years old. And then I went back and I walked away. A hand that came out of nowhere, and I still don't know who the hand belongs to, grabbed my shoulder and turned me around. That was the urge. I believe this hand is working with you as well, this being. It's urging you to go one way or another way, help this person or not help this person. I believe that being is there and is multiplied a millionfold on this planet. Anyway, it pushed me to the chicken rice shop, and I bought the chicken rice and I gave it to her, and as she opened up the package, I heard her thoughts, and she said, thank you, thank you. She hadn't eaten in more than 2 or 3 days, and so she ate and ate and ate and ate. Now, I thought it was fantastic. I walked away, and there was, there's this little points I made in heaven. But here's the thing that changed her life. She decided after the meal, now this is all in the Hall of Memories, and I didn't know it. I was gone already. She decided to pick up the phone and call her son. You see, she left the house 2 or 3 years before that because the son had gotten married to not a nice woman. I was going to use the B word, but you choose. She was thank you, bitch. Thank you, Verb. So she thought that this woman was didn't really like her a lot, the daughter-in-law, and so it was a choice between the daughter-in-law or the mother, and so on and so forth. So she decided when the son was at work to just leave. She never came back to the house. The son has been looking for her frantically, and after 2 or 3 years, gave up the idea of looking for her. And what made her think of the son was a 12-year-old giving her money and food, and it reminded her of her son. She had created, like you, an onion, a shell, so I don't feel so much, so that I'll survive and I'll just go on to the next day. And she had done that, and that shell broke because of that one little action. And we don't know what little actions will influence a person's life. We don't know what words comes out of our mouth that will influence a person's life. We have no idea what changes we cause. Maybe years from now, we will not even be here when those changes happen. So here that change happened. She called, the son picked up the phone, collect call. In those days, do you remember we had coins and all of that? Yeah, one of those coins that she had collected from somewhere was the one that she used, 10 cents at that time. The son came and picked her up, and her whole life changed instead of being on the street. You have an ability right now to affect the lives of not just the people who are dying, but the people who are living. Your counsel is to the people who are living, for them to deal with it. Because the ones who are going, except for the ones who are panicking right now, your job is to calm them down and let them know they're not alone. And that's all they need, is for you to know, for them to know that they are not alone. And if you can make them know this, then you have to be a lot better than the nurses. Some of the nurses here don't care. I mean, I won't point to fingers, but one was in the elevator with us, and May, my partner in Thailand for MTI group, she asked the nurse, how come the 13th floor button doesn't work, you know? She said, you have to go up. You have to take the stairs. I see. Is there any other way? No, whatever you want to do, do it. So we walk out and go to say, yeah, if you want. And what is the other way? We have no idea. So we took the stairs up, and we didn't realize the stairs were numbered like our days of our lives. Literally, isn't it? Isn't it symbolic every time you come to work to see the numbers and your days are numbered and we don't realize it? The Buddha said, the problem with you is you think you have time. The reason why you engage with your spouse, the reason why you engage with all of the conflict in your life is because you think you have time. If you knew, if you all knew, like your patients, like your clients, if you knew you had only a week left to live, how would you live your life? You see, that's the blessing you have, is to be able to see this firsthand. And you never take anything for granted. That's why I salute you, because everything you taste, all the water you're given to drink, you know, like he got water, I don't have any. All of this will taste so good to you, even the little things. So no matter who I am, no matter what I am, I always keep something to remind me that I'm going to die. And this is it. Not the microphone, this thing. You see this little thing? It looks like an angel, but it's not really. In Bulgaria, I found out what it was. This is given to me many, many years ago when I was counseling in a palliative capacity in Seattle. And it was a man dying of AIDS at that time. And his name was Michael. And I knew that nobody wanted to be around Michael because all the nurses were gloved, and doctors, they didn't understand the disease in those days. And I came in, I understood it completely, and I started to talk to him and started to make him laugh. If you spend time with Mel Gill, I will make you laugh because it's what's to be serious about in life? For what? You know, so that people know you're a serious person. What you gonna do? Die happy? You know, why be afraid? You know? So anyway, so Michael eventually gave it to me and asked me to stop making him laugh because it hurts so much in all of his body. And he called me his angel. He died several weeks later, but I don't put this on to remind me of Michael. It's to remind me of how short a life I have. And I forget until I walk by a mirror and then I see it. And then I remind myself that big event that I want to be a success was not a success. Hell with it. Doesn't matter. We've got another opportunity to make it happen. That big thing that I'm supposed to create, that big relationship I'm supposed to have, didn't work out because she fell in love with my brother instead of da-da-da-da-da, you know, so on and so forth. Life has so many dramas. Have you noticed this? You don't even have to watch television. Look at your own lives. You know, if you have in-laws and outlaws and all of these people in your family, oh my God, the dramas are right there. Why not do what the Buddha said? You know, don't participate because you get lost in it. You get emotionally tied in. Forget the fact that there's conflict going on. Step back, become an observer, and recognize you don't have much time. And since you don't want to waste money on buying a television, watch the drama, and then when you're tired of the soap opera, just walk away and enjoy the birds, enjoy the forest, enjoy the sea, enjoy everything around you. Earth is a huge playground. It's got so many things. Tomorrow, what day is today? Saturday? I lost track of time. You know, my son and I flew from Bulgaria to here. The week before Bulgaria, we were in Slovenia doing seminars as well. And we didn't have that much time. We had one day, and then, poof, we had to come up to Bangkok. So when we wake up sometimes, we have to look out the window to recognize where we are because we've forgotten it. And tomorrow, I'm holding a concert called the Symphony of Inspiration. And what it is I want to not do seminars anymore the way I've been doing for the last 25, 30 years. You know, blah, 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 here's the board, da, 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 you got a note, here you go, da, 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 give me X amount of $1,000, da, 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 it's all done. At this age, I'm tired of that. I want to have more fun. So I decided to do an experiment, and this is the first time I'm running what is called a motivational concert. And you know what I want to do? I call it a gift to Thailand that I want to give, because I'm taking local Thai singers and children who are super talented and musicians and wonderful people who are amazing here. And this is what I want to do. My organization would like to do as well. We would like to ask you to come, and here's the thing. We're not going to charge you anything. Because of the work that you're doing, because of the changes you're making in places that you cannot even begin to see and recognize right now, because of the souls, the inner fire within you that have chosen this very difficult task. Let the rest of Thailand pay the 5,000 odd dollar bahts or whatever you call it, da-da-da. Can we give them? Okay, done. If you're interested in coming, please give your names to May over here, my very good friend. And huh?
Can we raise hand first?
Oh, sorry. How many people would like to come? It's tomorrow at their
7:30.
there are two concerts. One
One is full.
Oh, one is full. Okay. The second one. Okay. The first one is sold out. So the second one starts at?
7:30.
It starts at 7:30, ends at 10:30. It's at the Aksara. King Power. Yes. I don't speak Thai, so it has to be. Let me tell you what the concert is all about. I put together everything powerful, every piece of music and video that I thought was super powerful. I got some of my Greek production team that is in Greece right now to produce these different films. And also at the same time, you'll be exposed to songs in between me talking. So I'll be talking for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes maximum, and then a song comes up. Then another piece of music may come up, I'll introduce it, but I'll be the host throughout the whole thing, which I think is more fun. And I'll take you on a guided tour of your heart and your head, and you'll not only be inspired, but I believe that at the end, you will be happy to be alive on this planet. And that's what I want to do. And it's a total experiment. I just want to tell you that. You will be at our first ever virgin seminar. So how many times do you see a virgin in your life? You get to see one now. And so that when it becomes, in practice, when it becomes something that we will do regularly in Thailand and around the world, you can all say, I was there at the first one. Want to play with me? Yes. Yeah, that's one question. Want to come to the seminar? Sorry, that's a joke. If you have any questions to ask me, probably now, do I have till 1 o'clock? What time do I have till? We have dress rehearsals happening at about 4 o'clock, I think. We have to leave in 10 minutes, okay? So I have 10 minutes, and why don't we make this more interesting by you asking me questions and I answering for you in whatever area you want. And also, if you don't have a chance, or I don't have a chance to answer your questions, you can always contact me here, be my friend in Facebook. I think I still have in this thing maybe about 100 or more people that can become my friends before I have to shift to what they call a fan page, because it's too many, and Facebook has decided the limit of your friends. There's a huge republic out there with 1.6 billion citizens, and its president is a little bit wacko, Mark Zuckerberg. And he's going to decide your entire future. Facebook is probably the largest mental hospital on the planet. When I first started with my psychology and counseling, I used to tell all my clients, please keep a journal. Write everything in your journal, all your thoughts, all your things, the things you ate. Stick some pictures in there if you want. And then here comes Zuckerberg and said, you know what, that's a damn good idea. Let's make it global and let's everybody look at each other's journal. And now when you read a person's journal, you get to know everything about them before you even go out with them. Then you'll know, like, oh my God, even the CIA is looking at your stuff. Now, if you have any questions, yes, ma'am.
For what you say about keeping, on the trouble way, creating space.
Yeah, to create your own personal space. You cannot keep trouble away. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
But
Oh, lucky.
But I'm thinking about it.
Oh, you are?
Yes, but I'm not sure my boyfriend, agree with you or not. So I consult with him. So basically, because we are part of our own family, and especially, for Asian, we are really close to each other. And if we try, from what I see is that if we try to distance ourselves or create some space for ourselves from so-called family drama,
Yeah.
you might get some negative reaction from your brother and sister or even your parents.
You always will, yes.
So what is your advice to that? I mean, sometimes we have to create a space for our own, sanity.
Sure, absolutely.
Yes, but as part of the family, it's so difficult, especially
you
Asian.
you want your cake and eat it too, right? I can tell you what a great Asian guy did about 2,500 years ago. He left his wife and child, and decided to live in the forest most of the time. In fact, we call him Siddhartha. And this Indian fellow used to be away from his disciples a lot. He didn't like hanging out with them. He liked being alone in the forest. That's why they call him the forest monk. And if you can, I don't know where the forests are here or where you have a park or something, spend a lot of time in the park. And at some point, how many people meditate? Meditation is not a spiritual thing, really. Yes, it is linked up with a lot of spirituality, but then understand meditation as a function of mind. If you can calm your mind down and get back to 0 point, where it all began, then you will feel much better about who you are and what you are and so on and so forth. So sometimes you can bring that forest and put it inside here. So if there's a lot of fighting going on, hoo-ha-ha, I never da-da-da-da, don't you think I'm right, and da-da-da-da-da, they're screaming their heads off, then you find the peace by withdrawing mentally and emotionally into yourself. Sort of like purposely becoming autistic. You know what I mean? Sensory deprived. Try not to think about spending time in there, in the world. And that argument that we are Asian, so we're stuck doing this. Look, this is not an Asian problem. This is a universal human problem as well. It happens in Bulgaria. Same question was asked in Russia. Same question was asked in America. It's a human problem. If you don't give yourself time, you are ineffective for everyone. You must give yourself alone time, even alone from your boyfriend. Because what will happen is, and that's the last thing you want, is for him to be happy. How many people are married? Just out of curiosity, raise your hands. Okay, how many people are single? Raise your hands. Oh, okay. I was wondering why the room was so happy. I'm single, just to let you know. And so I'm generally happy as well. Well, I have a son, but I was married a long time ago. So, well, now, single father. I have a son and a daughter. I have 2 children that I know about. And this is my son, and his name is Luke. And he, just to tell you, L-U-C, that's his name, Luke. He was supposed to be Jean-Luc. I don't know how many of you watch Star Trek, but I'm a Trekkie as well. I watch Star Trek a lot, and he was supposed to be Jean-Luc Picard, but his mother refused. Wait, let me answer her question, then I'll answer your question too.
One question.
Yes.
That one question.
Yes.
Okay. I asked this question for my close friend.
Yes.
She does a lot of things does a lot of good things in her perspective and other people's perspective too. But one day she found out that she doesn't feel or doesn't realize the true love. How does it happen and what is recommendation?
Oh my God.
Sorry about.
If there are 6 billion people in the world, there are 6 billion definitions of what true love is. It's all self-serving. True love is when you give me do. True love is da. Oh, please die, Let me ask you a question. If you have emotional maturity, you will find love. And here's the bad news about love. This answers your question and also answers your question simultaneously. The direction of love is from the inside out. That's the direction of love. From the outside in, if you want love to come from the outside in, it is no longer the direction of love, it is the direction of need, of want, of desire. That's what it is. So if you talk to your mate, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, and say, let's, give and take. No, that is no longer love, that is trading. I give you, you give me. I give you 100%, you give me 100%, you give me 10%, I talk to my lawyer, so on and so forth. And then we start talking with all of this stuff. So let's do a small little test before I leave here today. How about raise your hands, and how many of you, I want to know how you would feel in a hypothetical situation. I want to check your emotional maturity, whether you deserve to be in a relationship or not. How would you like that? Yeah? Let me ask this question. Pretend you are all single, even the ones who are taken, pretend you're single, and there's a man or a woman of your dreams who's now approaching you. And if you fall in love with this man, you and this woman, you will now experience the love you see in the movies, you read in the books. Your heart will beat out of your chest. You will just cannot wait to go home and meet this person because you are in love and this person loves you. Every day you wake up with this person and go to sleep with this person. You have a chance to go into this relationship with this person, but knowing 6 months from now that that person is going to die, would you still go into that relationship? Raise your hands. Wow. Emotionally mature people, I salute you. Raise your hands again so I can see your faces. Wow. Now, ask you guys, if you knew that you can get into this relationship, experience the love of stars, but knowing 6 months from now that person is going to be in a relationship with someone else, is going to love them, would you still go into that relationship? Raise your hands. 1, 2 people. So the rest of you, is this what you are telling me? That you would prefer that your lover die than be happy? Is that what you're saying? Then you don't deserve to be in a relationship. Get out and stop creating hell for them. You're in it for selfish reasons, and you're going to experience a divorce at some point. And that's where psychologists like me will never be out of business doing divorce counseling. So please consider that. Tell that to your friend. If you get into a relationship for one reason, because you can enhance that person's life. That you are a completely happy person, that is a completely happy person, but together you are having more fun and more joy, but you don't know how long this is going to last. You have no idea. So if you want a true definition of love, a real true definition of love, every relationship is a preparation for the next. Even if it's marriage. Recognize this. That's from a psychotherapist's perspective. Now people, I think I am out of time. Do you want to do one more question? Let's take one more question and then I'll go.
Well, it's very inspiring. Just to cut it short, I have a guru back in India, and he doesn't have paid disciples, only family members.
You have a guru?
Yeah, it's like 3 generations of relationship with him. And he's 86, and he looks like 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
Viagra. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, anyway. So, I lost my father 2 years back. I went to meet him, and he said, truth, I'm just giving the English version, and he said, truth is what you want to see.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to raise this question back to you because you have seen a lot of things.
Truth is what you want to see.
Do you think this is a relevant position in life that we should adopt? Sorry.
No, it's a good question. Good question. I sigh because the answers are multidimensional, and you need me to speak from a holistic perspective if I can to give you one universal truth. And that universal truth will be that every experience has been decided long beforehand, and that nothing is given to you that you cannot handle. You can always handle what you've been given. There's no such thing as I cannot handle it. Yes, maybe you'll feel the strain at life at some point. And the relationship with your father survives even his death. And you know this more than anybody else on the planet, because he's closer to you now than you can ever imagine. But at some point you will meet all of these people again. The people that you look after right now, you will meet them again, and they will thank you. And for some reason you have chosen this profession because, like Mother Teresa, who was asked why she looks after all of these dying children, and she says only one thing. She didn't say because it makes me feel good. She didn't say it's because I wanted to find the truth. She didn't say because this is what God said. She said because this child is alone, and I'm the last thing the child sees before, or the last person the child sees before she dies. I just want to be there for that, to help her or him. And if you focus on what is now here, then what is now here in front of you is the truth at any one point. And that truth will change. It's ludicrous and and very, very, what's the word? Arrogant of us as human beings. We have one thinking deficiency. And one of those thinking deficiencies is whatever knowledge I have right now, I'm going to use this knowledge to make a big assumptive statement about life. But we don't know all of life. We only live in one lifetime perspective, but if all of you can remember all your lives, you are a different being. And you know now more than you ever could know in this particular body that you're in. And then even then, what do you know? It's kind of like the 4 blind people, wise men that the king sent to see, what this animal was that came into the kingdom. One said it was a wall, another says it's a huge snake, another says it was a little rope, and another says it's walking tree trunks. And they were all right. They were not wrong. They all gave the truth. But together, we came up with an idea that it was an elephant. So, do we all have the truth? I don't know. The truth will change from time to time. Are you wrapping me up in that? Anyway, I was wondering why they were standing over there saying, when is this guy going to finish? So I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you. Okay, great. People, if you have any more questions, trust me, when you become my friend on Facebook, I answer every question that you ask. Wait, whoa. Hold on. If you give me, like, Dr. Mel, please tell me one sentence, 2 sentences, boom, I'll answer you. If you come up with a long story and it fills up the whole 2 or 3 pages, I take it, I don't ignore you. I take it and I put it into a very special file. The title of the file is To Be Read Before I Die. Hundreds of people send me questions, so please keep it short, and I will answer you. Okay? People, thank you so much for your time.